Most traders on WallStreetBets find themselves unable to escape the clutches of colossal losses. Yet amid the chaos, a select few defy the odds, rising above their peers to seize fate by the neck. They altered the course of their destiny, achieving gains of epic proportions. And it is my honor to present to you one such trader who got so good at making gains that he earned a nickname the Karen of gain posts. He goes by the name of Kevin FOMO the Degen, who in just one day turned $20,000 into $1.2 million. But before we get into details of one of the largest gains I have ever seen, let's go all the way back to the humble beginnings of his incredible journey filled with huge gains. And just maybe we'll find out how he spots them out. Like with many legends, we don't have an exact date when he started trading, and his beginnings are a bit blurry, but he started with just 5 to 10k, and then it took him 2 years to make a huge gain. And by a huge gain, I mean turning just $38,000 into more than $1.5 million, as he did that with Adobe calls expiring in June 2023, but we don't know when he opened the position. Sometime after that gain, he lost $208,000 in a single day, and now we've came to his first post on July the 30th, 2023, when he posted a YOLO on 1000 Roku call options expiring in 5 days. He opened the position with about $12,000 and was already up by $83,000. Now at the time the stock was trading at around $70 and was slowly falling, but on July the 27th in the after hours, Roku reported earnings and they were amazing, so he instantly bought calls when the market opened. He expected the stock to go up by a lot because of the so-called 3-day continuation rule, when most stocks after big news or after earnings reports go up or down in the next 2 to 3 days. And despite almost everyone mocking him for holding his YOLO, he was right, with the stock continuously going up for exactly 3 days. And with that, his position increased to $296,000. And then after roughly 2 months, he came back with another YOLO that turned into an insane gain. On September the 21st, he posted a YOLO on Broadcom Inc. with a ticker symbol of AVGO, as he sold a call spread for $20,000 and then put it all into puts with a striking price at $800 expiring the next day. The market was tanking after FOMC, with semiconductors in particular being hit the most that week. He had puts on this, Nvidia and other semiconductor stocks, and this play just got lucky, as his position jumped from being worth $5,000 to $264,000 overnight. Just a couple of days after closing this gain, he posted a gain on Rivian. He was up by about $80,000, with his position being worth $277,000, because he bought a lot of call options on Rivian, as he's been holding these for delivery number run and was just spared from the bloodbath. Now for context, the stock fell by 15% in the week before, and this absolute mad lad decided to buy these calls on Monday morning when the stock hit $20, timing the bottom perfectly. Not only that, but he held the options until Friday, making his position worth $191,000. He sold the calls expiring on that same day, securing a $142,000 gain and exercised some for shares. He honestly executed this trade perfectly. It's almost like he knew what was going to happen, and he kind of did. He realized the stock was doing the exact same pattern as Q2 delivery numbers, as it tanked 2 weeks before numbers in June, then mooned a week before the numbers. The stock followed the exact same script, tanked last week and mooned this week. But he's not always right, because in the same week he posted a YOLO on Google, Netflix and Microsoft calls, on which he was down by 49, 58 and 44%, or $35,000 in total. He needed a miracle bounce to save him, but apparently no miracle happened, and he decided to dump everything and will be eating out of a dumpster tonight. And then a month later he YOLO'd into aligned put options expiring a day after earnings, as he was already up by 24% and his position was worth about $15,000. The stock was slowly falling in the past couple of months towards its earnings report, and he made an educated guess. Smile Direct Club went bankrupt recently, which was a big tell that no one gives a f about paying out of pocket for expensive plastic cups on your teeth when metal braces are paid by your insurance. So he jumped into 50 puts the day before the earnings, and with that being said, the stock tanked by almost 25% after earnings and his position turned into a $111,000 gain. And now comes the best part. On the December the 8th, he bought 100 call options on Broadcom with a striking price at $1,000, expiring in a week. He opened his position with just $11,000 a couple of days after the company released its earnings report. Now I don't want to spoil the gain just yet, but in the 3 days after he bought the calls, the stock jumped up by 15%, and in those 3 days his position increased to $535,000, meaning that he turned just $11,000 into more than $500,000 in just 3 days. But he was far from done, because a day later he posted a YOLO on First Solar. It was just a regarded low to bet on beaten down interest rate companies like solar, EV and housing before the FOMC. He was scrambling to buy as many calls on First Solar as he could, and in the end he bought 1000 call options with a striking price at $150, expiring in just a day. He opened the position with about $20,000 and he was already up by 500% or almost $100,000. But he didn't sell. He held overnight, and it paid off massively as his position jumped to a $1,205,529 gain. Just let that sink in. In just a week he made 2 insane gains. He firstly turned $11,000 into $500,000 in just 3 days, and then in just a day he turned $20,000 into more than $1.2 million. And here is the gist of his incredibly successful strategy. He plays 1 to 3 tickers a day or so, based on some due diligence. Maybe 5 to 15k a play, flip some, hold some. Name of the game is to hit the grand slams that allow him to keep doing this. For example, a 5000% gainer gives him the ability to play 6 months worth of gamble. It's all a numbers game. The only way to get rich is to keep taking calculated risks constantly. Would Warren Buffett be Warren Buffett if he just cashed out and retired on his first deal? The biggest wins involve finding a thesis on how a stock moves and fighting your emotions from abandoning that theory, while the MM knows you're in it and will try everything they can to make you sell. You need to position yourself for all scenarios. Name of the game isn't puts or calls like the regards here think. It's growing your cash pile with different strategies to adjust for market situations. Having that said, his next play is on Twilio, at the time being worth around $180,000. He thinks the upcoming KI integration has tons of potential. The API is a great product, but their management is a bunch of cups. He's betting someone comes in to clean house and acquire them or make them spin off the garbage. And because you've made it this far and I don't want you to just YOLO everything into the market expecting to replicate this genius, here is a post of what happens when you're just an idiot. As trader by the name of Oginator lost 90% of his life savings since 2020, and his losses are so bad that on the first chart his account just goes straight down without a single point where it looked like he could have turned things around. Altogether he's lost about $84,000 as he mostly traded against every SPY trend, so he lost on both puts and calls. He was purely gambling, obviously, trying to find market tops and bottoms and hoping to ride those new waves. But it never panned out the way he wanted it to, and whenever it did he usually sold too early but couldn't cut his losses on losing positions, so this is the result. And if you want to see what happens when you can't lose a single YOLO, click on the video just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any questions or recommendations, leave them in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.